Youngsters! Fuck yeah, people!
Hello, it's Sophie for UK Festival Guide, and I'm here at Merthyr Rocks on the last day with Funeral for a Friend. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Good. Are you excited to be playing Wales, in Merthyr in particular?
Yeah, well, Merthyr, because it's quite close to where Ryan, grew up, and
Yeah.
we've all kind of like from around the area. So yeah, it's kind of like playing a hometown show without actually being individually in anybody's particular hometown.
Yeah.
Well, I went to school here, so I spent most of my childhood in Merthyr.
So it's dear to your heart.
Yeah, there's some good memories. Yeah,
Some.
I found everyone really friendly here. Everyone talks to you, says hello.
great. Yeah, in all seriousness, yeah, it's a good place. Spent much of my life here, like I said, through school or after-school activities,
Which were...
Jazz, yeah.
which were partying in the zone or the cooler, or occasionally watching a Merthyr Tydfil FC football game.
Are they a good team or a bit ropey?
They're a couple of leagues down. They're doing well in their own respective division. I also used to work in T-Mobile in Merthyr as well, so spent a lot of my life in Merthyr.
Okay, so have you got friends and family here as it's a local gig? Are they here to support you in their droves?
No.
Oh, sad time.
I have friends, no family here today, but yeah, a lot of friends.
Does that mean you've got your party heads on then if there's friends here? Is it going to turn into one of those messy gigs or
No,
never?
not for me. I can't talk for any other members of the band, but for
He's got a
myself,
smirk on his face.
we're sensible.
I'll drink about once or twice a year these days.
Special occasions.
Seasonal, he is.
Yeah, so.
So how's your festival season be overall? Because I know you went to South Africa.
Yeah.
How was that? Did they put on a good festival? Do they know what they're doing?
Yeah, it was good fun. I think for us, the entire summer has been pretty much busy and filled with playing festivals here and there, and it's been good. It's been good laugh, really.
I mean, we hope we thought that South Africa would obviously be great to visit and everything. We weren't sure what the shows are going to be like because, well, A, we'd never been there, and B, well, I don't know, you just don't associate it for whatever reason with live music. But yeah, it was great and really well put together and lots of fans there, so somewhere we'd like to go back.
You played Download and then the smaller festival Guildfest as well, I think, didn't you?
Yeah, we played
Cock Rock. We
played Cock Rock up in Cockermouth. We played like Heavy Fest as well. We play everything, but we feel like we don't discriminate other festivals if they're smaller. So that's why we played everything from Download to playing Cock Rock.
Yeah.
And you've been playing quite a lot of your new record, Welcome Home Armageddon.
Yeah.
A lot of people have enjoyed it because there's some quite heavy, aggressive sounds going on there, which people are appreciating. Have you been having crowds going wild for it, quite bolshy with it?
Well, I'd rather them trying to rip each other's heads off than just stand there looking like slack-jawed yokels.
Much more.
To be honest, I think it's just something about playing energetic music that really responds, and allows the audience to get involved in something. I think that's one of the main things about us as a band is that we've always tried to present that energy and try to control and shape that energy. And more often than not, we have good shows and good, people dig them.
I read when you were making the record, you were really thinking about what it'd be like live, making songs that are really good live. So what does that involve? Is it just lots of good riffs, lots of good solos? What makes a great live record for you?
Yeah, definitely the energy, I think, of the track. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be the fastest song or the heaviest song, just to have that movement in there, and just for it to be able to do something. I mean, even if there's a vocal that catches you, it could be that, or a particular rhythm, or like I say, a riff. It just needs to have just a real strong identity and character and movement.
And we've got to like it.
We've got to like it.
Yeah.
Do you find the lineup changes affects how it goes in the studio as well? Did that, like having a new member, give a new energy to it, or maybe he came forward with new ideas that made an influence on it at all? Or?
I think definitely having somebody new in the band, like Rich and Gav, even to an extent, specifically because he's changed from playing bass to guitar, definitely changed the dynamic, and I think it gave us a kick up the arse a bit, and really kind of showed us what we could do if we just kind of looked at what the possibilities of music creatively we could achieve, and I think we just understood that our passion for what we do stemmed back from all the bands that we loved that got us into wanting to be in a band in the first place, and we kind of really tapped into that kind of energy, and it shows in the record. I think it's quite fresh.
We become a bit blasé, I think. After doing so many records, things become, I don't know, they perhaps lose their shine a little bit, and when the other guys came into the studio and we were like, oh wow, look at this studio, and we're like, oh yeah, actually it's pretty great, and wow, this is sounding great, and you just feed off that excitement that their first time doing certain things, and made it feel like it was our first time too, and really fed off that.
And when you play old songs, do you find that it's more like going through the motions sometimes, or can you take it back to when you wrote it and get those?
Rehearse it.
Yeah. We were talking about that the other day. Rehearsals suck.
I hate rehearsing because it's basically like a gig without any of the excitement or people.
It's gone a bit dry, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, it's.
You want to get out there, you end up after playing the 5 songs, you kind of start messing around and dicking around and playing things not so seriously. So it's kind of, I think, for us, having an audience, playing to an audience and having people around, and just that energy really does kind of feed us and fill us up with strong kind of energy. And I think, when it comes to being in a band, I think that's really important. So, that's what we need to do.
You should invite people to your rehearsals, like get some fans down and just woo a bit.
We did that once.
Yeah, definitely more awkward.
Yeah, a few months ago, and yeah,
Never again.
I don't know if that helped, but it was fun.
We didn't dick around as much, did we? Really?
No, we left that to the other people.
Yeah,
they did a bit of dicking around, but yeah, I guess it's fun. I think you've got to take it in cycles and know when to. Like now feels like the time where we want to start writing new stuff, which we have, and then you get the buzz back. It's fun then to actually go in and write and go in and play those songs for the first time. And then once you've been doing that a little while, then you start missing playing the old stuff, and then you get that spark back, and it's just about keeping everything fresh.
You kind of find a place where those songs are. You can't sing a song about something that was written when I was 16 and have the same kind of feeling about it. So lyrically, you kind of have to put it in some kind of context, and it works because these songs are more than just our songs. They're everybody's song now. They're out there. People love them and respond to them. So they're not ours anymore. So you got to treat them with that kind of respect, I think.
You've been around now for over 10 years, maybe. Is it 12? About
10, 10 years.
It's I gave an extra 2. Okay. Is it? What do you think of the industry currently? Because I know a lot of the young bands say it's really hard because of the lack of funding and having to do things like pledge, which I think you did for an EP, didn't you? So what do you think about the current state? What would you change? How can we improve it, do you think?
I think it's changed drastically to the point where there's still a lot of confusion as to which directions anything should go in. It's quite unsettled. That's what it seems like to me. There's certain ideas being thrown around there, like the pledge thing, but nothing is set in concrete, and record labels aren't really taking many risks anymore, which leaves bands being unable to kind of maybe support themselves in the same way that bands like when we started out and got signed could support ourselves by doing this as a profession. So it's maybe the days of music as a profession is becoming less apparent. I don't know, it's kind of weird.
People are having to think of different. People are having to tour more now, I think, definitely, because that's a band's bread and butter these days. People coming to their live shows, people buying their t-shirts, so I think you're far more likely to buy a band CD if it's there, and you've watched them play and you walk to their merch table and they're selling a CD, rather than if you're sitting at home and it's as simple as a 50-50 option of spending money that a lot of us haven't got these days, or having it for free. It's quite a strong temptation to go that way. Whereas when you're at the live show, you're immersed in that feeling of and you have that connection with the band. So that's why it's really important to get out there and tour.
Do you mind the fact that touring's more important now? Do you mind being on the road for months after months? Have you're just accustomed to that way of life now, pretty much?
After 10 years, I think it's pretty much, second nature. Yeah, it's.
To be honest, we probably toured more at the start when we started, because I guess you have to establish yourselves, and see the show's a lot smaller then, so you have to do a lot more of them. Whereas now, I mean, we've been doing this 10 years, so we've been able to build up that fan base to the point where instead of doing a UK tour where we'd have to do 30 shows the first time, you know, we can split it down to like 8 to 10 then, where people will come to, and it just works out like that when you've got that fan base there. But definitely for new bands, I can imagine it's quite tough, and they have to do a lot of touring to build that fan base up, especially with so much competition as well.
Yeah. Outside of just going out in vans and cars, it's not very glamorous at all, is it, for the young bands? I don't know if it was when you started either.
It's not even glamorous to a degree for even established. Everybody assumes it's like, but it's just part and parcel of what the music industry and being in a band is about. So, you know, it is what it is.
And so you've got a tour, haven't you, coming up? Is it October? Yeah. With Escape the Fate and two other...
Fiction, Buddy the Bear, and Straight Lines playing? Yeah. Straight Lines, yeah.
Cool. Is it mainly UK based or just UK, or are you going to go take it to Europe and other...
I think we'd all just love to take it everywhere we could possibly go, but, you know, unfortunately I think it's just limited to the UK.
We're going to Japan week after next for a little while, which is going to be great, and straight to Australia from there then. So
you're a bit jammy, really, aren't you?
Yeah, just so we can have tans when we go on tour, basically. That's the whole.
I still go to Australia and never come away with a tan.
How do you manage that? Just hotel room to hotel room?
I'm not a huge fan of being outside in the sun.
Because you're from Wales.
Cold climate, dude. You know, I like going to places with snow. That's kind of.
Go to an alpine resort and do some gigs.
Or Iceland and places like that is wicked. That's my kind of idea of a good place to play.
You need to sort that out, though.
I know.
Okay.
We did that last year, though. We had a quite cold winter European tour around Scandinavia and Germany and Belgium, etc. It was lovely, though.
Do you at least have a warm tour bus with all the gadgets to, you know, keep you comfortable?
To be fair,
I woke up in condensation more often than not.
Yeah, dripping.
On my head. But I was fine. It was good. It was good fun.
Right, just to wrap it up, anything you want to plug, any releases or anything for people to check out?
Well, if you haven't picked up our latest album, Welcome Home Armageddon, then go get it. And if you're at a loss for something to do in October, then come and check us out on tour.
That says it all, really. Okay, well, thank you very much and best of luck. Thank you.